What is going on? Poof, there I am. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. We're doing pretty good today. No issues, no complaints. It was so hot, though. Oh my gosh, it was like 95. It was terrible. Let's see. Oh, get this at. Okay. Battle Eye version's outdated. Why am I naked pants? Okay, remember when I said everything was good? No, we're not doing so good today. Battle Eye version is updated. Or out of date. It's going to be a great week out in the deep desert, I can tell. What's up, IP? How you doing? We're doing, I guess. I don't know. Oh, no. No, you can't get near the mic because then it turns off. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. You doing okay? Yeah. We're sweet for the game to load. You guys stay downstairs, so. Okay. Well, apparently my battle eye was fixed, so. Quirkiness. Before we head out to the deep desert, which is going to be the highlight of tonight, I want to point out something. So last week, the Harkonnen team was able to secure the Sissel Rad right out of the gate. And my fellow Atreides people were feeling a certain way about that, so they wanted to return the favor, so they did that immediately. Like, I logged in yesterday when I got home, and they'd already claimed it. I think that was a mistake, because weapons, armor, and XP. I do need to, kind of back myself off. So none of these are interesting for me. I'm already max XP, so doesn't matter. It's points that go nowhere. The armor is all regular, ungraded armor, so a quick trip into a testing station, one of the overland ones, will get you armor better than anything this is going to have. And the weapons are also ungraded, so same thing. If they put graded stuff, do you want to go out there? Hold on. If they put graded stuff in here, these would be, really, really cool, but they don't. So, players that are just starting out, who just got access to Landsride, that stuff might be pretty cool. So for them, yay. Been waiting for that vehicle to show up. Hold on, my co-pilot does not want to be in here. So let me get him out, and then we'll get started. I'm just going to put this down here. Yeah, you heard the co-pilot? Say hi. Oh, no, kitty, you're not cute. Here's one. Here's two. Wow, I am animal free now. Holy cow. Yeah. Oh. Okay. So, in order to prevent myself from being clickbaity and lying in my thumbnails, let's go to the deep desert. There is one thing that I'm going to change from the loadout. I haven't added anything from what I originally was bringing out, and we are going to go here. So this is all stravidium fiber that I brought out the last time I was in the deep desert. And this is excess, which, I've got quite a lot of plastanium I can make here. So what I'm going to do is we are going to fill up. Oh, by the way, I found more Leader Johns. So I'm bringing out a ton of water. But I'm going to fill up some of these last couple spaces with this stuff here. It does kind of throw the totals off. I like to keep track of what I get when I'm out in the deep desert, but you know what? I don't care anymore. We're growing as a person, everyone. So I'm going to bring out about 1,300. This way I can go out and hit the titanium island. grab a bunch of titanium, come back and start production right away. That's the only change that we're doing here. Everything else should be okay. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to grab a couple extra sets of filters. I don't know if I need them just yet, but I'm going to bring them anyway, just to be safe. I know I'm pretty good with the industrial lube, so that we don't have to worry about. This corner, man, there is something about the corner of my base that is no longer happy. Nice. Okay, so before we go, we are going to switch over to the still suit. I see a lot of people make comments and they ask, you know, what is there a point in wearing a still suit versus armor? Yes, there actually is. If somebody's going to be shooting darts at you or trying to stab you, you should be wearing armor. If no one's going to be doing that, wear a still suit. Most of the times I've downed myself was because of this, was because I was out there building a base and you get in that screen and you just get a movement on and you don't realize it. So I bring the still suit just for the extra little heat reduction and the water packets. And of course, we're going to make sure to fill all our containers. And we're going to go ahead and take that last drink, and then we're going to be gone. We need to switch this with our vehicle backup tool. And I think we're ready to go. We want to bring that out. I'm telling you, man, I gotta figure out what's wrong with this corner. Boop, right there. Want to always make sure if you're going to the deep desert, got a softer in your pocket. Doesn't matter which one, whether it's a rocket one or a thruster or if it's a storage, because you never know what might happen. I have gone out there a couple times and got myself in a bit of a spot of bother because I didn't have something in my pocket. But yeah. We should be ready to rock right now. I'm going to see if there's any fuel in here. There is one. I've got 2.5 with me, but I am bringing some extras. So we should be all right. Usually when I park my vehicles, I take the time to make sure I refill their fuel. Let's see if I did that. At 71%, that's still pretty good. My rock carrier wings have seen better days, but there's still plenty of life in there. Generator's down a bit too. Might be facilitating some repairs out there, but here we go. The cargo container that I need is stored right up here, so I can grab that from the outside. I used to just kind of park it on the floor, and that didn't work real well. I didn't like the way it happened. And here we go. I have got to be careful when you do that, because if it's under something, like, you know, if it's in a wall or got an overhang or something, it actually starts pulling your ship down, your cargo container or your carrier down. I don't know if anybody lives there. Somebody did at one point, but I used to do this all the time. I would just come up the side of the wall just to be scary. My DD week started with a softer full of spice getting eaten by a patrolling worm. No. Oh, man. I saw in the patch notes that they made it so that if you have a bunch of stuff in your vehicle inventory and a worm eats you, now it disappears with the, like the worm actually eats it. You used to be able to, go back out and pick it back up because it would just sit like in one of them satchels. But I think they changed that now. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Builds character, though. Just keep saying that. Oh, I should hit the shift key and we're gonna auto fly. Look, Mom, no hands. We're gonna try to do this quickly. It's quite possible that the first half of the stream is just going to be me building, but I kind of I thought about that. I was like, building is not the best thing. It's not the most exciting, and definitely doesn't make for thrilling content. And that's one of the problems with it, is since it's not thrilling content, a lot of creators won't do it. I mean, it makes sense. You want to do stuff that people want to see. But then what that does is creates a situation where no one can see, or very few people can see, the building process. Time to play some jams. Okay, so we have the option of going to either one of these two. We're going to go into the PvE Deep Desert just because I'm not looking for fights today. There was a person who made a comment on one of my older videos that I just answered today. I responded to. I don't know if you're here or not, but and I see this a lot on posts, forums, discords, and stuff. People complaining about getting attacked in the PvP zone. That's what it's for. If you go there and you're not willing to or ready to fight, that's on you. I mean, they can't make it any simpler. One of the big issues that I used to deal with, and I kind of came to terms with it and understanding, and it's made my life a lot better, is I have a certain way that I want to play this game. I got, my own personal feelings and my ideas of how things should happen. For instance, I don't want to ruin people's time. I don't want to just out of the blue attack somebody. And even when the deep deserts were not split like this, if I saw somebody in the PvP zone and they were just collecting spice, I'd just bypass it. I don't mind fighting. If we're going to fight, let's fight. But I don't want to take advantage of people. And that's just the way, I mean, you could say, oh, you're very honorable, or that's decent of you. It has nothing to do with that. It's just my preference. That's the way I want to play. I demand that I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to play the game I want to. Because I purchased it, I do this, I should be allowed to play the game the way I want to. But the price for that is that other people are also allowed to play the game the way they want to. And if they want to attack people, and they go to the place where you can attack people, and there's somebody and they attack them, I mean, that 2.5 boost for resources is alluring. It is. It's really cool and really awesome. Doesn't make a difference if you die, and if you go out there by yourself, you're probably going to, so can't complain if you click that PvP button. So I like to build right here. This is my preferred location. I have several others, so in the event that if I ever come out here and somebody's already built a base right there, that I have options. So I'll fly out here and I'm like, oh, yay, I don't have to do anything different. So we're going to sit down and we're going to jump out. And the first thing we got to do is come over to the cargo container and grab a couple items. Boop. The first thing we got to do is we got to grab our base. Right? Perfect. Second thing we got to do is we got to grab some salvage metal. No, I don't need all of this. So all I'm going to do is just take a wee little bit, and I'll tell you what, we'll take 50? 53, that's what I said. Because we took one item out, it automatically puts the split item in here, which is exactly where you want. That way we don't have to scroll down and find it. So we grab that. And then we're going to grab our staking units. So now we're ready to get it going. I've done my first 2 land transmissions tonight. Sweet! Good job, Odd. Well, besides a little issue starting up, which I don't understand, because it said my battle eye was out of date. Otherwise, we're doing okay. Can you guys hear the ceiling fan? I don't know. Tell me if there's like a wind. I know this game has some wind in it, but... okay, before we get started, pay attention to your day, night. Right now it's really dark. Obviously it's night, but we're getting close. That's why I wear the still suit. And the first thing we got to do is we got to use this tool to make our base. And boop. No, that's the boop we wanted. So we've got our combo base Solito copy that I made the last time I was out here. Got my construction tool, and I've got the staking units. So first thing up is going to be to select this, and it's under my favorites, but you can go under utilities, and I usually make the advanced sub beef. I don't know if it matters or not. And we're going to place this sucker just to the point where she's not interfered with too much. That's going to be way too high. There's a rock over here. That rock is not normally there, so hopefully a foundation can just eat that up. But we're going to plop this down. Boom. There it is. So hooray, we have our land. Next thing up is we're going to go to our staking unit because I need to go this way. I know this because I built this base so many times. Plop that sucker on the ground, right? And now we are back to the construction tool, and she gets moved. Sorry, clicked the wrong button. She's going to get moved to this far corner because there's nothing here on my base layout, so I know I'll be able to just freely build whatever I want to build. I'm thinking that rock might cause me some issues because on the corner of my base I have it where it's got kind of a curved edge. This might be in the way for one of my boxes because I do have boxes in the corner. We're going to see once that gets finished. If this does interfere, I'm going to have to lift the height of my base. Hey Shy, welcome back from vacation. I hope you had fun. But I will have to adjust the height up, which will make the stuff on the roof not work, which means we'll have to drop that, there it is. We'll have to drop our vertical staking unit, but we're going to find out right now. So we go to 8, which brings up the base. And this is easy and also, I think, unnecessarily difficult. Because you're so close and it's hard to get, you know, an idea of everything here. Let's see. Okay, so right here we're semi-good. Unfortunately, stuff on the top is red and the stuff in the back is red, which means we're too high and we're too far that way. I'm going to point on my screen like you guys can see it. All you can see is my big old hand in the way. You have the change height, rotate, change width, change depth. Get used to those because it's a little easier than trying to control that with your mouse. But we are going to hit the control and we're going to drop our depth down, see if we can get those units on the roof to go green. All right, you ready? There we are. So they're green. I'm actually going to drop it down a few more. Okay, so height-wise, we should be good. Looks like that rock isn't being too damaging, but I'm a little too far to the right. Also, do you notice in the middle of the screen, all pieces must be placed on your land? It's picking up that little bit right there. So we want that to go away. Not enough support. We might have dropped it too far down. Nope. Why are you angry? There's something over there is angry. Okay. So it's being temperamental. We're going to drop out of this. We're going to go back to move, and let's get this over here because it was obviously such a horrendous problem. And we'll go back in and let's see what we can do now. Okay. Again, she popped up way too high. I wish I could see over to this left side and what's causing this problem. Ah, it's too far down. Let's see. So it looks like a spice gen that's pissed. Let's try to lift it up a little. Not enough support. Where are you getting angry about support, you piece of crap? Okay, that's as far there as I can go. Yep. An overhead view would definitely be nice. Okay, so that's showing me that there's all sorts of angry stuff. What do I have to do? Not enough support. All right, so we're having problems. So it's going to cost us some money. And we're going to go ahead and put this vertical staking unit down. This way I'll be able to go whatever height I want. It's going to cost me an extra 15,000 solari, which sucks, but temperamental. This way I can go way up higher if I want to. I can't see over here what's causing the problem. Let's see if we can change our location. Get up on this rock and I'll wait for that to finish. Let's see if we can view it from here. I wonder if it's that little rocky outcropping. This is the part I wanted to highlight, because most of your other content creators will be like, just make a Solido copy of a base, go out and plant it, and they don't show this ridiculousness. Luckily, this doesn't take too long. And you should be able to pick it up right at like this point, and it would go back into your inventory, but it would still go up in the air and do its thing. So now I extended my subfief by one section, so it's doubled. Now I just made it go up really high. So let's see what that does to this. Okay. All pieces must be on my land. So what I'm going to do is we're going to slide over until we start getting the red in the corner, right? And let's go. Okay, so there we go with that. And now I'm going to go back to the keyboard and we're going to change our depth. Why do I have so much red in the center? What is going on? There we go. Why do you have a support issue, dude? Okay. So it's angry here. But if I go up one more, now it starts putting supports on the bottom, but you'll notice the center portion is gone. So this is actually saying that, hey, dude, you're good. I can go ahead and place this blueprint. So now we got to touch the mouse without moving everything, and we're going to hit that left click. Place copied structure. Fancy, usually just make a box for a farming week. Yep, I've done that as well. Did a 5 columns. That hopefully helps the Lido recreation. It can be a pain in the butt. I've seen some crazy things where people do pillars and different things so that it can be controlled. But once you do this, it says, hey, you're about to stick a base in the world, and you can't stop it once you've done it, and it's going to bust up the tool in order to happen. Do I want to continue? And I'm going to say, yeah, I do. And then everything disappears, and you're like, okay, what just happened? what just happened was the base was placed. If I bring up my construction tool, there's my base. It did add extra foundations I didn't plan on. I think there's a couple in the centers area there. Hopefully, I brought enough plastone to make this happen. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Let's go ahead and move all of these over because I really don't need them. We'll stick you up there and you up there, and why don't you go there? All right, so now I'm going to try to get plastone. Luckily, with my skill advancements, I have the extra volume, so I can do this. If you can't pull like a full 500 over, then you're going to have to, you know, grab a little bit, move it over small amounts at a time. But I'm going to show you a very easy way to get around that. How much? I can't bring a full amount. Let's see if we do 250. There we go. That'll be fine. So we run back. And now we're going to bring this up, and we're standing in the midst of all the chaos. But I'm going to start here on this corner, right? And I'm going to build that foundation and this foundation. And then we're going to jump up in here. And you'll notice that it's like, hey, dude, you don't have the materials for this. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to build a foundation, man. What are you talking about? There's somebody. Hi. All right, so once you start building the foundations, you'll start to see like little ghost images coming in. This is actually where I have my large refinery. And you can build from within like I'm doing right now, like I'm running through. Too close to another sub-beef. Okay, that's a good thing to point out. See how I'm trying to build a sub-beef right now? Because you're in the construction menu, if you're trying to build something, it's going to be crazy. You have the potential of building something that you didn't want to build. Like maybe you build a box out of nowhere, just because you're clicking on things and stuff goes crazy. Notice I'm dying from heat stroke, but that's why we're wearing a still suit. I usually like to leave it on a sub-beef because I'm too close to another sub-beef. I'll never be able to build it. And it's not that intrusive. If you have like a big box or something, it can be a little crazy. So I'm going to do an outside edge here real quick. And you'll see I'm down to like 600 and something. Perfect. Now we come up here and you can see I got some stairs. Let's build this one. Oh, come on, man. And we'll build this. We'll go over here. Here. And here. Good as time of any to get some water out of the catch pockets. We'll finish off with a leader, John. Back to it. So I'm going to bring out my construction tool, and you'll notice that there are a line of medium containers here. I want to build these so that I can bring that cargo container over to this area and offload all of those materials so that I don't have to run back and forth all the time. This is huge. That will save you so much time. If you want, you can also, at this point, just build a little section here so that you can stand and not die in the sun. I got enough water, so I'm actually kind of okay with it. But if you hover over it, you'll see I need 35 plastanium ingots. I need some silicone blocks, and I need some spice melange. So we got to run over here and get those. At this point, I'm not going to build any more walls, so we're going to go ahead and take all of that and dump it over. And let's see, we'll bring this over because I want to split this. It said 35. I'm actually going to bring, I don't know, at least 70. So I can build two real quick right out of the gate. I need a little tiny bit of melange, just a little. Let's bring all of that over and we'll split it here. That should be fine. Take it back. Last thing we need is some silicone blocks. These guys aren't real heavy, so I'm going to go ahead and just bring the entire stack. But here, I guess I didn't grab. Yeah, I never grabbed it. I moved it, but there. Boop, there we go. So 1, 2, and 3, I've got enough to build a couple boxes. At this point, since we're here, let's go ahead and move this guy closer, because this is too far away to get picked up. Doesn't matter where you put it as long as it's closer to the land grab. And also you want to keep in mind that eventually you're going to be building a bunch more stuff. So like there'll be a hangar here eventually. So I don't want to get too close. Boop. And you just go right back where you were. That's not even remotely close to where you were. That'll do it. Alright. You could definitely just put the cargo container closer to begin with, but just showing you now. Can the storage container never be on a based circuit? A basis circuit? It cannot, because it's considered a vehicle, not a storage, even though it's a storage container, it really is. It's considered a vehicle, which doesn't get accessed through the base the way we normally would like. So here we go back to build, and now I can make this 1 and 2, but now I can't because I'm out of plastanium. So at this point, we're going to open this up, and I can do a deep desert transport, which is what I named my carrier. Cargo container, sorry. Over they come. We're going to bring everything over until this is completely full. Don't care about order or arrangement, but we do have to be careful because some things are way heavier than others. Let's put that back. I'm going to make sure we get some of this, and we're pretty much full. We'll go over here, bring up the container again. And I'm just grabbing as much stuff as I can. I should be able to fit almost all of this in. This stuff's not getting in there yet. That's going to be a little heavy. Do you guys remember how heavy cobalt paste used to be? That used to be insane. Insane. I think that's going to fill me up, isn't it? That's going to get me pretty damn close. Alright, so we're going to leave that stuff there for now. The reason we did that is because now, when we go here, let's look at the floor. Now I've got access to 4,369 blocks of plastone. Now we can build like crazy. We don't have to run anywhere. We don't have to change anything. And we can just literally run through here, and we're just going to have a ball. And every time we build something, it asks us if we want to place a sub-beef, but it's too close. So we can't ever make a mistake. You know, I shouldn't say that because... it's never a good idea to underestimate your abilities. So here is where I have my large spice thing and my large spice refinery, and I also have some boxes in here. Let's make a light just for funsies. So if you'll notice, it says required materials, a bunch of plastine, a whole bunch of materials, and I'm just trying to build floors. So I know I'm pointing at the wrong thing. So what you have to do is kind of move it until it gets to a spot that you can grab. Sometimes if you're lucky, there'll be just a corner sticking off. If you're not lucky, then it won't. But what you can do is you can just jump down here and run around inside. And even though I'm standing in this section, I can build that one. And then you can back up and just keep doing this the whole time. And that at least will get your floor plan done without having machines, boxes, weird pieces of wall You just have to make sure, because you can't build something that you're standing in. It doesn't give you access to it. I was standing in it there. I will try to get as much of the floor down as I possibly can before I try to do too many walls. And we're out. This works great unless you build by accident. If you make all of your, like you do the outside edge, so it's like a big donut, then you gotta like run around inside. It's not the easiest thing. Like accidentally building this one, and then I'm like, great. We're all about speed and efficiency here, the old Jackrabbit channel. Stupid rock. And I mean, if you want to, you can deviate from that. If you, why am I not sprinting? Come on, man, sprint. Yep. Now, when you look at different ways of getting materials out of the deep desert, whether you refine them here like I'm doing right now, because I'm building a base so that I can do all my refining and stuff out here without having to go back to Hagga, or you do the ferrying, which is just get the materials out here and then fly them back to Hagga and process them back in your main base. It honestly doesn't matter which way you do it. Do it whichever way you want to. Personally, I like to come out here. Ah, come on, man. Come on. Oh, look at that. I had a low spot. That might have been what the support was complaining. Here. See this? There's actually one underneath, and I'm wondering if this kind of stuff with that little bit of deviation is what was causing me problems. That would not have been on the original Solido, so that was added in, which when I make the copy of this base for next time, it's going to have those in it, which will be funny. If I don't need them, we'll have to see. But yeah, you can build a base out here, or you can ferry. It doesn't matter, give or take. You know, they're the same thing. The reason I started doing this, I will do the ferrying method. Another one that's down low. Weird terrain. I used to do the ferrying thing all the time before I could build out here. I thought I was being smart because I couldn't afford to make the machinery. Originally, you're going to have to probably do some ferrying back and forth. But once you can make machinery out here, it's a good idea to do it because you get that extra... with the reduction in cost to make things out here in the deep desert, every machine is going to cost half of what it does in Hagga. You can actually get access to machinery that you can't build. So you're going to be able to make a large spice refinery out here in the deep desert before you can make one back in Hagga. You just don't have the materials. Also, you can make like machinery like the large vehicle fabricator, and you can make the larger vehicles like the tier 6 stuff before you'd be able to do it in Hagga, because you can't build the fabricator. You won't have the materials, so you'll have to get them, but you could build the machine before you could, before you're actually supposed to. That was in my deep desert base tutorials. Look that up and you'll see more of what I'm talking about. You can actually be kind of tricksy and build stuff. That's weird. Okay. I'm going to exit out and we're going to look at the floor. So, yep, Here's the entire floor. There's a section I didn't want to build because it was accident. So there we go. Took us all day. We're going to check some water, make sure we're not dying. And we've got the floor built with the ramp and everything else. I need to drink coffee. Oh my gosh. I have so much water storage at Hagga now that I just very short containers. Yeah, ferry storage. Well, think about it. Before the storage container, you really couldn't do that much. I looted a Walker crawler engine. Is it worth it over the standard engine? It depends. The Walker one makes you go faster, but the faster you go, the less spice you pick up per swipe. So it's kind of like, hey, you can go faster, but it doesn't do as good a job. I have several of them. I used it once and I was like, ew. So I don't use them anymore. But you know what? Plop it in there and test it out. See how you feel. Okay, so now that we've got our floor done, I'm going to do the outside walls. I'm going to hit the wrong button first. Then I'm going to hit the wrong button again. There we go. So I'm going to do the outside walls now. And that's easier to do literally the outside. If you try to do it inside, you start building things on the inside. Like just out of nowhere, you'll suddenly put a water tank up and you'll be like, dude. But we're just literally point and click, man. Gonna miss some right there. But it's okay. It's worse things. Here, good point. So I have a half wall that goes around like the banister wall thing because OSHA, safety first. You always got to think about safety. If you try to build that, like here, it says, come on, man. Not enough support. It's because there's nothing, like I have to build something first in order to build this. So that will go away if I just build this. And now I can build that. So if you see that where it says not enough support or if it's messing with you, all that means is there's something else you got to build before you can build that piece. Oop, like see that? Now I can build this. But I want to go in here first. I don't build machinery yet until I get the structure pretty well laid out. The only exception I would say to that is I will pop in some the generators, at least to get them started. So there we are. We're doing pretty well. Oh my gosh. So it's been that long? Thank you, Odd. Thank you for the donation for a new mic cable. There isn't even a cat in here, for God's sakes. Oh. This is how I die when I'm doing this, is because I'll get so focused. I wasn't even looking to see. So, uh, hopefully you find that stuff endearing, guys. We gonna get that fixed before Saturday. I thought we were in good shape before, but could you hear the game sounds, like the little and stuff? That was still going through, right? It's horrible. Unprofessional. Amateur hour here. Oh no, I clicked the button. Shoot. Okay. Here's another issue. Sometimes you'll run into, if you have a light structure on the roof, like a inside floor here, when you try to build this panel, this won't show up. But when you're pointing at it, let's see if we can find one. I know I have some upstairs. You might get a message where it's telling you that you don't have enough support, and you're like, dude, that's what I'm trying to make, is the support. There you go. See, not enough support. It's like, what it's trying to do there is, when I make this, there'll be a light. So all you gotta do is move your mouse around a little bit. I can go ahead and make this light to have the materials for it, but you know what? Somebody brought up a point there. Is like, they said that's how they feel in home, is that just talking and no one's listening. I get that. I get that. Nobody listens to me. What would I know, right? I actually say that at work. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. What would I know? And then I just watch the chaos ensue. It's like that Kermit meme where I'm just sitting there with my my iced tea. Why do stairs take so long? Okay, so another thing I'm going to divert. Shoot, why is 7 not working? Okay, I'm going to divert a little bit. We're going to make the rest of these boxes, just because I had some materials that I do want to bring over. One thing I don't like is when I made this Solido copy, it was I named all these boxes. Like, they had names for what was going into them, and when I make a copy of the base and rebuild it, it's all back to medium storage container. I know I'm being kind of whiny crybaby, asking them to go that far into it, but it is, personally, I find it annoying. All right, so now we got a couple things in here that we have to build. We got to do the inside structure, but before we do that, I'll make a water tank since it's sitting right there. We're going to do this upstairs hangar. And I want to build this wall here because, like I said, a storm eventually might come through. And if it does, I want to be able to put at least the carrier in here. There was an issue before where cargo containers were incredibly fragile. Fragile. It's Italian. There's a light up there. Yep, there it is. And just like now, if it was sitting out there and a storm hit, it would destroy it. So they apparently fixed that and gave them a little more durability, but I have trust issues when they say they fix things. That's not a dig against Funcom. That's a dig against everything. All companies, I don't trust them. It's because I used to play Destiny, and Bungie can't be trusted. I've wondered if I could get in trouble for that. If they could say I'm disparaging them. I hope they do. I keep good records. Go ahead and ask me to show everybody why I don't like you. Silly Bungie. Now, this is a giant pentashield right here. I can build it, but it won't work because I have yet to put power to this base. I know that. Oh, I don't want to do that though. I'm okay with that, at least for now. We've got one more spot to build. I don't remember building that. I mean, it's okay. Eventually it's coming in, but still. Do not remember that happening. How are we doing? Granite, we're doing great. How are we doing with Plastone? 1,500, but we're not using a whole lot. So I think we'll be okay. Oh, stop. Stop that. This room right here is where I put my cargo container once the base is... Yikes. A very key spot right there. Made everything happen. This is where I stick my cargo container once the base is done. So it's a very simple little section of walls, and there is a pentashield up here. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here real quick, because this is where I have my spice generators. And we're going to make them. I'll go ahead and make both of them. And this is one of the few times that I will I have to go back over here. It's one of the few times that I access a generator directly. Normally I'll do them through the sub beep. But here we're going to go in here and I'm going to bring all my filters over. We'll go ahead and bring this extra stuff. And we'll bring these guys over. Come on. And the only thing we got left is vehicles, bodies, water, and some strange materials. So we'll come over here. Now we can put 500 in. Blue. You see the blue, you know things are great. Then we're going to go into our storage and we're immediately going to split it in half. And we're going to take that out so that we can come over here and deposit that in. Oh, it looks like we didn't have to split it in half, did we? No, we brought enough. Now we got power, which means pentashields should be working. They are. So now we're going to go outside. I'm going to grab the cargo container and stick it where it belongs in the put it where it belongs in the little area that I made. And then we're going to park this bird where she's going to sit, and then we'll finish up building. Come on, big girl, turn. We're too high. Now we're too low. Come on. Okay. Man, we're up in the air. We're so high up it won't even register. Okay. I started doing this. I used to just build my cargo container into the base because I just like, well, I'm not going to use it until it's time to take it apart and leave. Like a glove. But I started doing that so that I can like take it out there to the islands and fill it up, or I can make a run with a bunch of materials back to Hagga. And we're we're going to scooch. Sorry for all the clicking. And now if the storm hits, everyone's happy and safe. And from this point on, we can continue building. The only thing that I haven't done yet is my silly little sub-beep is all the way out here, just waiting to get destroyed. Poop. So I'm going to grab it, and I like to stick it under the stairs. Easy place for it, and it's easy to remember where it is. So there she goes. And now it's just, let's continue to build. I'm going to put this here, and we're going to keep doing the roof. It's on fire. And I can go ahead and build boxes, build whatever I want. I can put lights on now. I can hit anything as long as the structure around it's in good shape. So, ooh. Yeah, it doesn't keep the swatches, dude. That's, honestly, that's another reason why I don't bother with making this deep desert bases all that fancy, just because everything's going to go. It's only going to last for a short amount of time, and it doesn't retain the names, it doesn't retain your swatch colors, so it's kind of like, you know, they're lucky it's not just a giant Borg cube. Oh, see, I'm trying to build that. I could do it, but I don't want to. At least not right now. Let's see if we can get the rest of the structure in before we start putting spice refineries. Built a light. Oh, no, trying to build machinery again. You can, if you want to, build the machinery. The reason I don't want to is because that's going to mess with the power. I do have, even though I got 2 spice gens, I do use regular generators as well, and I've got rooftop units, all of which I haven't built and or started, like you know, fueled them, turned them on, did any of that kind of stuff. So I want to kind of maintain a low power usage profile right now. Yes, I could just turn them off if I wanted to. But we're trying to build as quickly as we possibly can. Oh, we hit the hour mark. We're not done. Garbage. I'm just garbage. Okay. Even though I said I'm not building machines, I will build boxes, of course. This is also a great time before I head upstairs to put generators and water traps up there. I want to build my storage. At least some of it. You don't have to build it all. It doesn't make sense to get your water traps built if you don't have any place for water to go. So there's those guys. We're going to hold off on the death stills. Repair station. Never used to have a repair station out here. I would advise it. You have something broken, you don't want to have to fly it back to Hagga just to fix a suspensor belt. It's annoying. The only bad thing about that, though, is you have to bring materials to feed that. And sometimes you don't think about the materials you need. For instance, you might need copper, which you can get out here if you really want, but... Alright, we're getting close. I think besides machinery, we're good down here. I'll put some lights up. We got some boxes in there. Some lights on the wall, but I can catch them later. All right, let's head upstairs. Got some lights there. There's the generators. Let's go through here. Come on. Ah, we got walls on this hangar. Okay. Oh, and we got walls here that we didn't build. Poor shame. We're down under 1,000 plastone. I think we'll be fine because we don't have that much left to do. That just makes me feel less useless as far as getting it set up. Like when I was planning this last week before we headed out here. Boy, that was awful flashy, wasn't it? Another issue is these things are all going to come about. I don't normally let other people mess around with my stuff, so everything I set for owner, because it's just me, it was set to owner when I took this picture of it, but it didn't retain that. So you're going to have to go around and reset all of your shields and machines, unfortunately, so that they don't cause problems. What's the problem? There was a situation where people could take advantage of anything that was set to associate, so they could like steal your water and stuff like that. You always got to watch out for poo-poo people. I'm going to trademark that, by the way, so be careful. Okay. These are just handrails, but that should be all right. 800, I'm feeling great. We did a great job. These areas here, these are little outcroppings that I make that are shielded so that I can stand here and look upon the desert without getting killed by the heat, which it's a good thing I just looked because I hadn't checked in a long time. But yeah, you can see in here, I could still see the desert. I could look for spice. I could look for other stuff, whatever's happening. Now I'm getting burned again because that wall isn't in there, but once it's done, it'll be fine. I just need a better way to get in there because, like, it's a little tricky. All right, let's see if we did this right. 1, 2, 3, that many, and I can't count. I can only count to 4. Alright, so they're all built. Let's go downstairs. Yikes. Come on. And we're going to go here. I'm going to build these guys. These are just a few little backups generators that I use. Nothing too extensive. Come on. Some safety handrails. Not building them yet. Yeah, go on. There you go. Nothing in here except handrails. How did I switch? I switched to storage. I don't like that. There we go. Potentially I could be making boxes out of nowhere. Alright, we should be in great shape. So we're going to come down here. Yep, you're fine. If you want to, you can bring fuel cells out here with you. I normally don't because I'm going to get enough power out of the units that I have. I've got some time before I really need them. So I usually will just pull out this guy here. I'll get 177 fuel cells. I'm going to stick that in a box, and that is going to be enough to get us started. Later, I'll put the buggy together, and I'll run out and grab some of those with the buggy, and we will not have to get fuel cells for the rest of the time that we're out here. There are so many out here. Okay, this box, nothing else in that. Ah, this one's good. So where are fuel cells? There, 177. Let's go in here, and we're going to see how much time we can get. Now, unfortunately, we've got plenty of power coming from the 2 spice generators that we made, and they're going to run forever. Longer than we're going to be able to be out here. So this number is not going to change when I hit this. Hitting that button is going to evenly spread the resources between those small generators I made and the lubricant to the units up on the roof. It's better to do it through your subfief, that way everything gets powered. Otherwise you might have a generator that only has like 2 fuel cells in it, but it still says, hey, you got 31 days, and then all of a sudden you're done. So always use this refuel generators to do it. What will increase is this power generated, and we want to see this sucker go way up high. Hell yeah. So we had a capability of making 4,050 kilowatts, and we have now achieved that, which means all of our generators are running. Notice, though, it stayed at 31. So we're going to have to make one real quick trip. Box. We're going to come over here, and let's see how long all of our regular fuel generators got. Just 1 day and 19 hours. Not a lot. But that's okay, because that's plenty of time for us to get the rest of this base built and get our buggy together to go out and mine a ton of them. Let's take a look at these guys. Each one of them's got 6 days and 5 hours. You can only stay out in the deep desert for 1 week. On Tuesday morning for me, it's like 5 a.m. Am I in PvE? Yes, I am. Yeah, I don't build in the PvP deep desert. If I go over there to get resources, I just fly over, go, and then fly back. But yeah, you can only be out there for a week, so I think it's like 6 a.m. on Tuesdays for me. I'm in the Eastern time zone, is when the reset happens. Having 6 days and 5 hours, I don't need to worry about this. That's going to be plenty of fuel to get us through what we need to do. I usually tear my bases down Saturday or Sunday evenings, so we're fine with that. Let's finish off. Now that we've got plenty of power and we've got some tanks built, cisterns, it's time to start generating some water. Somebody built high. So I have 4 units that I just built that you saw, and I also have, come on man, give it to me. I saw it for a second. There it is. Perfect. I've got units down here for a total of 6. Overall, that works pretty well for me. I've had mixed, I don't think, I used to be able to fill this up. I used to hit this and it worked fine. I'm almost quitting here. Did you see this? Now I'm down to 15 days. That's interesting. That's why. So I have exceeded the 2,000 from those spice generators that used to be making this number work. Because I've got that extra 500, it's moved down to 15 days because the spice generators and the units on the top of the roof are now capable of running the base since it's using 25. If I continue up and start having it way up here and get real close to this 4,000 where I'm using the regular fuel generators, this is going to change to that 1 day, 19 hours. In fact, our usage is going to spike real big here, because right now we're only at 1500, but I have no water. So when I turn on, fill up the filters in these guys, each one's going to add 135. I've got 6. Let's do the math. That's a bunch. And I'm going to switch these to that. So we're already enabled, which is good. Let's go to management, and we're going to deposit 5, and it automatically takes 1. I've only got 16 left to spread amongst everybody, so I did not bring enough filters. I mean, I've got 5 days there. Let's split these, and we'll put them in our pack. So what I'm doing here is I am purposefully shorting these guys so that I know when I make my first trip back to Hagga, I need to get more filters. How long does 2 get us? Only 2 days plus an extra, so about 3 days worth of filters here. Oh, you're close. How did I get that close? But it's enough to get everything started. And like I said, let's look at our power usage. We're up to 1500 now. Boop, we'll come down here. Like I said, we're at 1507. Let's make it that. Let's go to fuel management. Drop these bad boys in. We'll split it. Take that. We're still at 1507. Why are you guys not processing water? I built tanks. They are producing. They might have been on already, and it considered them on even though they weren't running. Doesn't make sense, though. Unless it was picking up the fact that there was no water and they were trying to run, but the filters were out. It's interesting. Okay. Now it's time to build some machines. Boop, we got some medium chemical refining going up. Do not have enough silicone blocks to make this bad boy. For shame, for shame. So there's my first oopsie poopsie, we forgot something. It's okay, I don't have any spice to refine right now anyway. Hopefully nothing else. Ooh, these guys use silicone and duraluminum. Man, I'm surprised I was that short. Brought plenty of that, didn't I? We were short, folks. All right, so I am definitely going to be short duraluminum and silicone blocks. So what do we do? Well, we got 2 options. Either we could try to make them out here. I can go get some flour sand, use some water, mix it up. It'll be made. Or I could fly back to Hagga and go get them there. Right now we're going to pull all... Actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that over here. This is the one that I use for all the fuel cells. Just so I know where they're at. Good. This box here is where you guys go. I will also change the circuit so that anything that gets overflowed goes into here. There's a public hangar in B4 of PvP. That's cool. As long as it's respected. Sometimes people don't do that. Right. This box here I use for body storage. So we're going to come down here. And there we go. All bodies are in there. Theoretically, if I had the desk stills, that I could make all of them. Yeah, we're at 22, so we're doing all right. I need... I'm going to hit my skills just to make sure they're working properly. Let's go ahead and get somebody cooking. Boop. That is the sound of a cat who wants to come in, but he can't. Because I'm not going to let him. Alright, let's put you guys over here. I got danger music playing. Why do I have danger music? So, here we have a nice little sand crawler. And this is our buggy. After that, it's just water. Need to go here, and we need to bring our welding torch into play. And we're going to pick out our vehicles and make them. So, let's move you up here and you over there. Life is good. The first thing I always grab is the chassis. That way, when you're putting it together, it makes sense. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Luckily, I can carry all of these because I have that extended backpack. And we're golden. So we're going to come over here. I'll bring up number 6. And it automatically starts with that. There's a wheel. Tread. Sorry. Horrible. Boop. 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 Ooh. Trying to build something crazy there. He's ready to go. We'll drop out of that. We will refuel her. And I like to park this bad boy right around in here. But we've got something to do. Since it's been so long, our fuel cell here has respawned. And like I said, man, this stuff's laying around everywhere out here. Oh, look at that. We got a storm coming in. Oh, look at that. It's downhill, so we can't get it. And I know that there's one around back here. Oh, there's that storm. It's not even going to hit us. We rushed for nothing. There we go. Now we got 5,000 fuel cells. Problem solved. And this guy, I like to park right here where this little light is. It's important to do it properly. Set standards. In this box right here, if there's nothing in it, which there's a bunch in it, we're going to transfer all of this, with the exception of that guy, back into our cargo container. And then, oh, we're going to go to the buggy since it's open. Pop all of this in here. Refuel our generators. We should be good to go for like 2 weeks now. That should have every bit of everything we need. We'll verify that in just a second, but we're not quite there yet. This box, hopefully we can go back to our cargo container and draw everything out. Should be alright. Oh, trying to shoot people. Shooting these dang boxes. Alright, so that needs to go back into the cargo container and we'll bring it over. Let's switch to our backpack. So when you're making this thing, you can hit your Alt key and change its direction. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get it pointing in the proper direction. There we are. We hit escape. We hit this. We refuel her. I like mine to stay right here. Oh, bad things are occurring. I have a cat that really wants to get in here. That'll be good enough for now. And here we are. So the base is technically up and running. I cannot build my spice refinery because I don't have enough silicone blocks. I am roughly half of what I need. So I need to go back to Hagga or get here another 200 and some silicone blocks. I also have an issue where I can't make all the desk stills that I want. And for that, I'm out of duraluminum. Also, though, I'll run out of silicone blocks. I'm already short, so if I bring enough out exactly to make that spice refinery, I won't have enough to do this. So I need 85, we're going to say 300, plus the other 300. I need 600 silicone blocks. I also need 1, 2, 3 desk stills worth of duraluminum ingots. So that means I need another 400 of that, and then that should get everything built. Luckily, I'm not in that bad a shape right now, since we're just starting things out. Water's generating nicely. We're already at 7,000. I've got 2 options as far as fixing my issue. Now, number 1, having the spice refinery doesn't hurt me so bad because I don't have any spice sand yet. I don't have it, so it's not like I can put anything in there. But I want to eventually. The desk stills does kind of hurt. I really wanted to get all 4 of them cooking right now so that I could go out and do something. When I came back, I'd have a ton of water ready to go. But unfortunately, it's not to be. So we've got to make a choice. I need to go get a bunch of duraluminum, and I need to get a bunch of silicone blocks. And I also need to grab some more of the blue filters for the units on the roof. So I have 2 options right now. Number 1, I could fly back in the carrier with the cargo container and fill it all up and get it that way. Or I could fly back in my pocket thopter, fill up my assault, and bring that out. I don't think, even with the cargo storage, I don't think a scout thopter is going to be able to bring out enough. That stuff, the silicone blocks are light. 300 duraluminum might be quite a bit. So that's what we're going to end up having to do. We're going to have to go back to Hagga, where we're going to get the filters, the silicone blocks, and the duraluminum. But I'm not going to do that now because you guys know what that looks like. What we're going to do right now is we're going to hop in this bad boy right here. We're going to take him outside. And we're going to leave it right there. Right there. I want to fill it up on fuel. Make sure it's perfect. Awesome. Look at you. Trying to leave. And we're also going to make sure, too close, that everything is fully repaired as well as it can be. It's weird. because my deep desert buggies were usually in perfect shape, since this is the good old Hagga one. It's weird. All right. Good Lord. So that's perfect. Now we're going to come over here. Oh, no, we're going to come over here. And we're going to load up on the most important resource when you're out here after water. Water is the most important because that's how you don't die. Always, always, always make sure you've got enough fuel. This right here should be enough for me to do what I want to do. So we're going to take some extra. Also, I know that the carrier used some fuel getting here and it wasn't full to begin with. So we're going to use quite a bit on this carrier. She is fuel hungry. It is ridiculous. Let's see. We are currently at 59%. We were at 70 something when we left Hagga, and all we did was go from Hagga out here and move a little bit. So let's go ahead, refuel her. That was probably a partial cell. Now she should be 100. Rock and roll. And we've got still a pretty good amount. We also want to make sure that we don't have anything extra built that we don't need. I have a base in Hagga, and I have a base here. So these are the only things I've got sub-beefs on. So I have one available to build one more base, which we're going to do here very soon. Method GG has a great site. I usually keep it on my phone and have it perfectly set up, where it makes a deep desert map. So every week, once it resets, they bring it up, and what we're doing is we are going to look for Titanium Island. Now, there's one right up in the middle, and then there's one off to the left. We're going to go to the one right up the middle. It is in G... looks like the corner of G6. So let's bring up the map. Unfortunately, when you first come out here, you can't see anything beyond that. But like I said, it's the corner of G6. So there's 8, here's 7, and here's 6. And there's 5. Okay. Whoa, hey. So now, we go up here. There's C, D, E, F, and there's G. So we're looking for H. Perfect. So H and G, 5 and 6. That's where we're going to fly. It's only 16 kilometers away. So we can turn auto fly on. We just got to monitor our thrusters, make sure we don't do, I mean, even if it overheats, who cares? I would never overheat if we were in a PvP section or PvP capable, you know what I mean? Want to have the thrusters always available as an option, but right now is one of the few times that you can set the cruise control in this game and just sit back and enjoy a nice cold cup of coffee. Oh, that was so cold. Oh my. Look at that, we're almost out of water here. If you're really in a hurry to get out there, you can monitor your thrusters and the whole time. I never really get that crazy about it. This is one of the few relaxing moments, you know what I mean? Especially out in the deep desert. But I will look around, try to get an idea of A, how many bases are built out here, and B, if I come across people. If we see a spice field, we'll remember that, be like, oh, heck yeah, there's a spice field right there. If you see a medium anywhere in the sand, it'll be there all week. It may not be active, but that's a potential spot for spice all week. So even if somebody comes along and cleans it off, or even if you do, tomorrow, it might be back. So if you have one that's relatively close to your base, good to remember. I don't care about the overheating. There is worse things. Can you not vulture when carrying something then? Absolutely. I am trying, but it says no. I guess it kind of makes sense, because you would, like, nosedive. But if you hit the right shift, someday I'm going to have to know what that controller thing is. But if you hit right shift, that will auto-fly. Boop, now auto-flies off and I stay stationary. Here, should go forward at full speed. There's a worm. We got a crashed ship somewhere? I don't see the peoples. So remember, there's only 2 reasons for a worm to breach. Number 1, there's a crashed ship somewhere and it's going to eat it. Hey, look, we got a spice blow. There's a crashed ship that it needs to eat, or somebody was acting silly and irritated a worm. So if you don't see a crashed ship, it's best to assume that there's peoples around. In fact, it's better to assume there's people around until you see a crashed ship. Because you don't want to be like, oh, it must be a crashed ship. No, it's guys. It's PvE, so it really doesn't matter that much, but it's always good to know where people are. And that's good practice to get into that habit. So if you do eventually go to the PvP section to have some strange people shoot at you and shoot back at them, at least you'll have good habits. Habits that will keep you alive. I still haven't really seen anybody, but that's okay. I will try to speed this up for you guys as much as possible. So I currently have my main base in Hagga, and I have a base that I just built right back there in the deep desert. So 2 out of my 3 sub-fiefs are being used. So I still have access to 1 more. And I want that because I'm going to come out here and we're going to go to this island and I'm going to build a base. It's not going to be one that stays, but it's just going to be a very temporary use base. And I'll show you why. I learned this the hard way. Normally, if I wasn't trying to get this in before the 2-hour mark, I would go over and investigate that. See if there's somebody already on it. See what's going on, but we'll be okay. Alright, we are in G6 now. It's good to know that there is a spice field pretty close. Look at the shadows. We can tell somebody built a base. It's right there. We are looking for an island with a ton of titanium on it. Take a look at the map and see how close to the corner we are. We haven't hit our mark yet. Thinking that might